What's up, fight fans? Thank you once again for coming through. Much appreciated. Remember, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. All right, big fight coming up in 5 or 6 weeks' time. I think it's 5 weeks' time. 24th of March at the O2 Arena. Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne. Two guys that I have in and around my top 15, I think. Some people have Dillian Whyte as high as like number 6 or 7, which is crazy. Like crazy. But two guys I have in and around my top 15, so it should be a good matchup. Lucas Browne's undefeated. Dillian Whyte's only lost once to AJ. No shame in that. And I was asked by a friend of mine, who I shan't mention his name, what I think of Dillian Whyte. You know, is he legit? Will he win a world title? How will he do in a Joshua rematch? How will he do against Deontay Wilder? And before I go into those, before I answer all those questions, I just want to get out there. I don't dislike Dillian Whyte. I don't. Look, he's blocked me on Twitter. I think I've said a couple of bad things in the past, but I've got to have respect for a man that, by trade, is a kickboxer. What was he? British champion for a few years, European K1 champion, and he didn't have that much amateur boxing as well, I don't think. So he's done well to put himself into the position he's in now. But as a boxing fan, I think I'm obligated to kind of say what I see. So when I see certain performances and I think they're not that great, but everyone's waxing lyrical about them, I think you guys want me to kind of not stay on the fence and say what I see, right? So sometimes when I watch him, I think there are holes there. And I think I've pointed those out, and as a result, I've been blocked. Which is okay. I mean, I'm kind of on a few people's block list. Who's blocked me? So Joe Gallagher's blocked me, Amir Khan's blocked me, and obviously Dillian Whyte's blocked me. So back to the question: how good is Dillian Whyte? In this crop of heavyweight boxers, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I said earlier, he makes my top 15, and that's not a bad thing. People might think that's me being harsh on him. I think top 15 is very, very good. Like I said, for someone that didn't have much amateur experience. But I do feel like we're in a boxing era right now which is shockingly bad. I mean, and the heavyweight era, not anything else. I mean, all the other divisions are pretty good. Heavyweight is shocking. A lot of people, for some odd reason, think this is some great heavyweight era. They look at Wilder and Parker and Joshua and think this is great. Guys, this is poor. And it's poor for a number of reasons, but I think the most glaring one is that there aren't many pure boxers in the heavyweight division. And what I mean by that is guys that started boxing young and just are boxers. What we have in the heavyweight division is guys that have started boxing extremely late and maybe were doing another sport and transitioned into boxing. So you've got someone like, for example, Dominic Brazil, NFL player. Oh, sorry, not NFL player, but American footballer. Jarrell Miller was a kickboxer. Dillian Whyte, kickboxer. Povetkin, kickboxer. Deontay Wilder didn't start boxing until he was, 17 or 18? And Joshua around the same time. I mean, look at Lucas Browne. Lucas Browne turned professional at 30. Think about that for a second. Lucas Browne, who you'd have in your top 15, I guess, didn't start professionally boxing until he was 30. He was a bouncer. I think, I'm going by his Wikipedia page, I think he was a singer as well. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. So when you think about it, these guys, that's why when you watch them, there are so many holes, right? There are so many holes. And that's to be expected. Because these guys didn't start boxing like 10, 11, 12, like the Andre Wards and the Floyd Mayweathers and the Danny Garcias. They started boxing very, very late. And that's why when I watch them, I'm so critical. I mean, who's not critical when you watch Deontay Wilder? Deontay Wilder is an awful boxer. And that's because he started boxing very, very late. You think of any other sport you can think of, you wouldn't be a top contender in your sport if you started, I don't know, playing basketball, like picked up a basketball at 17. Or picked up a football at 17. Or picked up a tennis racket at 17. These guys start at like 5 or 6. So Dillian Whyte is good in an era where I think the heavyweight boxers in particular are just very bad. Just very, very bad. which is why pure boxers like Luis Ortiz still have a chance, because Luis Ortiz is a pure boxer who started quite young. But there aren't many. There aren't many in the division. I think out of the top 10, there are probably only 2 or 3 boxers that actually started young. The rest just transitioned into boxing very, very late. So back to it with Dillian Whyte. Do I think Dillian Whyte could win a world title? Possibly. Dillian Whyte possibly could beat Joseph Parker. Possibly beat Deontay Wilder. Do I think he'll beat Anthony Joshua in a rematch? Absolutely not. Why would he? I think Anthony Joshua has got better, more confident, is beaten better opposition. And Dillian Whyte, who's he beaten since he lost to Joshua? Chisora, which was close. I think he lost that fight. And Helenius, who I don't know what was up with Helenius in that fight. Helenius could have put Dillian Whyte out. He could have stopped Dillian Whyte. And he had one fight in America. So we'll see. We'll see how he does against Lucas Browne. I'll do a prediction video maybe next week. But for now, I think Dillian Whyte is a good boxer, a good heavyweight boxer in a very, very poor heavyweight era of boxing. That makes sense. Heavyweight era of boxing. Heavyweight boxing era. Heavyweight era of boxing. You know what I mean. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.